Bloody Mary Podcast. Welcome to the Bloody Mary Podcast, where we talk about all things horror while drinking a Bloody Mary. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Tami, and we are totally married. We got our Bloody Marys, and tonight we are reviewing the movie X.
Yeah, it's a cool movie. We were going to see it at a local independent theater a few weeks ago. Then the time changed on us, and we weren't able to, and I thought, crap, we can't see it. But then I discovered it was in other theaters, which was surprising because it's kind of an independent horror flick.
Right. And in Spokane, we don't always get those in the big mall theaters. So
yeah.
That was exciting that we didn't miss it.
Yeah, it was cool that it was in a bunch of theaters. I didn't expect that. So X is about a group of filmmakers that rent out a guest house from an elderly couple in the country to shoot a porno, and then things go sideways. It's directed by T. West. He did House of the Devil, The Innkeepers, another movie, and then he did television for a while, and then he did this film, which I think it's the first film he's done in like 8 years or something.
Damn.
But I'm a fan of his, and I like this movie.
Me too. And he did a great job for not making a movie. Like, this is his first movie in 8 years.
Well, yeah. Well, I think he's been doing television, but it was good.
It was
yeah,
good.
So it starred Mia Goth, Jenna Ortega, Brittany Snow, Kid Cudi, Martin Henderson. I think the cast was great. This movie did a good job at casting.
They really did. Yeah. And then it felt like the 70s. You know, like sometimes they do it and they cast people and they just have a face or a vibe. Like it doesn't feel 70s. Like or at least for me, like it takes away from like that era.
It's really hard to nail any kind of era you're going for, especially like the 70s and the 80s, which are popular now. Some people overdo it. And this one went with a more natural, it kind of felt.
Yeah.
It's like a mix of Texas Chainsaw and Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
And he kept it original too, which is hard to do.
He did.
Yeah.
So, also, spoilers.
Spoilers.
We're going to spoil the fuck out of it.
All right,
so stop now if you haven't seen the movie.
If you haven't seen X, go see it. And now let's talk about it.
All right.
The kills, right? So there's some cool gore in this when it gets going. It's kind of a slow burn film.
It is.
Which sometimes I don't like, but this one, the payoff was good. I didn't mind the slow burn because, like what we just got done saying, they establish your characters and your settings. And they make nearly everyone in this film likable. So I liked watching the characters doing what they're doing before the gore starts.
Right. They're like, we're going to make it big. We're going to make the best porno. It's going to be in home. It's like the first home video porno.
Yeah.
And the guy's like super jazz and the girls are super jazz. And everyone's like, yeah. And this like student filmmaker's like, I'm going to make this the most beautiful porn you've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they filled that slow burn with drugs and having a good time and titties and dicks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
all of it.
So the slow burn to the gore is filled with this other fun stuff.
It really is. And like just enjoying life. Like they sang Landslide and it was like, you know, just enjoying life, but then also mirrored like the old couple.
Yeah, there's the sequence in the film where this group of filmmakers are in the guest house and they're playing music and they're singing, and then the screen splits and then you see this old lady doing her thing and it's like happy, and then this is darkly lit and showing what this old lady like in her 90s or her diminishing life is looking like. So that was really great. That made you.
It made me feel so sad for Pearl. Like I was like, oh. My heart breaks for this old lady, and I don't want to be old. Oh, my God.
And then Pearl starts killing everybody.
She does. Pearl's a killer, guys.
Yeah.
Which I love. I love that it's an old married couple, unassuming. They're just old.
Yeah.
Like, they look a little creepy, but they're old, and like, you know, your skin's melting off your face. And,
well, there were younger actors with old on it.
But you couldn't. I mean, they did a really good job with that.
Yeah, but anyways, your killers are in their fucking 90s or 80s or whatever, and you don't see that too often. And it was done really well. The gore was the first gore scene where she stabs the guy in the throat. Made me cringe. Not so much a stab in the throat, but then she kept going at it with a knife on the ground, and then she hit bone.
I know.
And then you heard that, and that's when I winced. I'm like, oh God. And then
it was so great.
Yeah.
It was so great.
Didn't she take off his head? Or no, she just stabbed the shit out of his neck.
She just kept stabbing the shit out of his neck. And my favorite part of this movie, one of my favorite parts is she's just old lady just trying to, really, she wants dick, by the way.
Yeah.
She just wants dick and she's not getting any.
Yeah, her husband can't give her dick, and then so she doesn't just want dick. I think she just wants sex because she's after that other chick too.
Yeah, I think she's a horny old lady.
Yeah, and she can't get it, so she kills.
Yeah, so she like comes up to the guy and he's like, "Lady, like get off me, like go back in the house, little old lady." And she was like, "Mm." Then she just comes and stabs him.
Yeah.
And my favorite part is she's covered in blood and she's just dancing. She's just like, and she looks so serene and happy, covered in blood, dancing. I loved it.
That was cool. That was cool.
That was so cool.
They had some really cool. They had some really cool death scenes. I liked the guy in his tidy whities out in the barn. That death scene was fun, where he peeked into the hole in the barn, and then he got a pitchfork to the eye.
Yep.
To the head. That was really cool.
Jenna Ortega, like she escapes. And they basically shoot her head off with a shotgun.
Yeah, Jenna Ortega's in this, and she's been doing a good job in horror lately, because she was in Scream this year and then in this, and I hadn't heard or seen of her before, so she's a good little horror actress.
She is.
I guess the one thing I didn't like, there's a couple things I didn't like about this, but mostly I love the film. I didn't like her character turn at the end before she dies. Because she's like, "Oh my God, what did you do to me? This is all your fault." And then she gets shot.
Oh,
like that wasn't her character up until that moment.
Right. They called her Church Mouse, and she was really quiet. And then she was like the sound guy's, or the camera guy girlfriend. And she's like asking questions like, "Why do you do porn? Why do you're with this woman, but you just watch some dude have sex with her?" Like, she's just asking questions because she's curious. Yeah. And then she's like,
you would be on a porn set.
She's like, "Okay, I want to do it."
Yeah.
And her boyfriend was like, no. And she was like, "Why not?"
Yeah. So then she did porn.
And then so she does porn. And then another one that I felt so sad, like he was so upset and like he was in the bathtub like crying.
Oh, yeah.
Naked. I was like, I feel you, dude. I've done that before. It's sad.
Yeah. Well, they used a certain lens with that shot, which is really cool, that they used in a couple shots. Which the directing was really subtle, but it was masterfully done, I think.
It really was.
The directing was awesome. The characters were great. It's just like a fun 70s, 80s slasher homage. Mm-hmm. And also...
And Psycho.
Psycho
Nods
too.
to Psycho.
Yep. And also was original on top of that. Mm-hmm. That's hard to pull off.
It is nowadays.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, is Pearl, like, is she having dementia? Like, is she reaching an age where she's like going senile? Because at some point her husband's like, she's just not in her right mind.
Yeah,
she's not in her bed, we can't find her. And you're like, okay, maybe she's just going crazy. And then after she like kills a couple people, I'm like, but has she always been like this? Because they find a dead body in the basement.
Well, yeah.
And I feel like, so what then I'm like, okay, are they trapping guys coming to their farm to use this house?
Yeah.
And then she gets her dick and then they kill him and dump the body and move on and then get another person.
Well, yeah, that was that's one thing that I liked about the film initially, was what this does is, as entertaining and gory as it is, you can look for a message, which is it talks about dementia.
I know.
And then there's that argument of, we were having that discussion in the car after the film, like, was this the first time she was doing it, or has she done this her whole life?
Right.
And I thought that leaving that open to interpretation was really well done. But then they shot that down, because afterwards I realized, after the credits, there's a trailer for a prequel film that this guy shot called Pearl, where it shows her being younger, killing everyone. So that kind of gets rid of that, your own interpretation thing. Right. Because the mystery of it. Yeah, the mystery of it. So I don't like that as much. I'm still going to see Pearl, but I would rather it have been left to interpret it however you wanted. Right. Open, like, was she just crazy? Was she always a killer? Yeah. Oh my God. Has Howard always done this for her? Yeah. Howard, her husband. Her husband. Yeah. And another scene I really liked that was creepy was she, like, after she kills, two people? Mm-hmm. Maxine, one of the main girls, is like in bed, and she like goes in there, takes her clothes off, lays in bed with Maxine, and then starts rubbing on her and blood with her bloody hand. And it was creepy and gross and
so cool. And then when she turns over and realizes it's her, like, oh my God. And they're like, they just think she's a crazy old lady. Like, oh, come on back.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay. You're just confused.
You're just confused and lost.
She's like, no, I'm not confused. I like her.
Yeah.
She's pretty.
Well, and that's the same person because the same
Right.
actress plays that person, and then she also plays the older lady.
Which is kind of great.
Yeah, so that's really awesome. The main thing I liked about this too is I think I just got done saying that you have this whole entertainment package, and you have lots of gore, and you have lots of comedy, and you have boobs, you got blood, you got fun lines, and then if you want, there's a message in there, right?
Right, it's not hammering
If you want, there's a message about what is beauty, and what is sexuality, and what is dementia, what does it all that look like, and what does it mean
Right.
to the human spirit, as opposed to some other films that they take their message on the forefront and hammer it down your fucking throat. Black Christmas 2019. Black Christmas 2019. Yeah. So that's what I like about that. That's how I like my horror films.
Right.
If there's a message, it's in there if you look for it.
Well, and I think it's
It's
also
not-
like,
Holding a sign like, look at my agenda, look at my
Right.
message.
well, and also I think it talks about like just enjoying your youth.
Yeah,
And like living
definitely.
in that and knowing that fades. And so you got to enjoy that now, or it's going to,
Yeah.
you're going to be 90, sad, no dick,
Mhm.
killing people. I
And
mean,
also,
that's
yeah,
really.
and also cocaine saves the day. The
Right,
only one who
cocaine-
lived
It was
again
the girl coke.
was the girl who was doing coke through the whole thing, and that's in one of my films too.
Well, and I like the switch because you would have think that Jenna Ortega, this sweet, church mouse girl, would be maybe the final girl.
I didn't think so. I knew because they established her from the beginning. I thought that
Really?
she was, yeah.
I thought there
thought
could have
that-
been.
I thought maybe she would live too, but then she did.
Oh, she got her head blown clean off.
That was really funny. I think the old man or the old lady shotgunned her.
Oh, the old lady did.
And then she shot way back and broke her hip.
Oh yeah, she was like, whoa, and then she's like, my hip, it's broke.
Yeah.
And the old guy's like, okay, she came on our property. We'll just say it was self-defense.
Yeah.
She broke into the house. We will not.
Yeah.
And I love that the cops at the end, they're like, what do you think happened? They're like, I have no fucking clue.
The cops
Just
were
know.
great. So they open it with like cops, and then they close it out with cops of like the aftermath, right?
And the cops are just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So throughout this whole movie, they are shooting a porno, these characters, and then
Called the Farmer's Daughters.
Oh yeah, that's what it was called. So then after the movie is over and the cops are checking out the whole scene, one of them brings like, look at this camera, a camera with film in it. What do you think's on there? And I think the last line in the movie is the sheriff saying, one hell of a horror flick. And then it rolls credits. That was perfect. I thought it was like a really great package, and something you liked in the beginning that I liked too, and we both noticed it, but you said it. The opening scene makes it look like it's a film reel.
It does.
Your opening frame looks like a film reel of the farm, but then the camera pushes out, and as it's moving, you realize you're inside of like barn doors.
Yes.
which
That was
is-
really cool.
Which was really smart. And
They
really,
had a lot of really cool shots
yeah.
in that.
I feel like he had a specific vision, and it went from the brain to the page to the screen really well how he wanted it. I
Yes.
think.
I agree
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
And then the only thing I didn't quite like was in the background always playing was like this TV televangelist, like
Yeah.
Jesus came and took, and then at the very end it flashes the picture of his daughter, which happens to be the coked out girl, and they're like, the devil kidnapped her and took her to somewhere, I don't know, and she's just riding off in the sunset, coked out, doing it, covered in blood,
Right?
because she killed the old lady. She like backs up over her a couple times.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's one thing, like through this whole movie, in the background in some scenes there's a TV of a preacher playing, and then you're wondering, why the fuck is this happening? Why do you keep showing this? And then it's at the end it's revealed that she's the daughter of the guy on there.
Right.
That I didn't like that either until the end where it was like, okay, I get it, but
It's still like,
yeah.
it felt to me like, who cares? Like,
yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, it was another cool like character thing where okay, you know.
I mean, it makes sense for like if you see the way she's like, I'm a fucking star. Oh, she keeps repeating like what line they said, and I can't.
I'd have to watch it again.
I can't think of it.
I think she keeps saying what her dad, the preacher, was saying on the television.
Yeah, while she like lines of coke, and then she says it in the mirror, and then she's like, I'm a fucking star.
Yeah,
like
yeah, it was cool. I guess nitpicking now, but there's a shot kind of close to the opening where they show your main characters just pulling away and leaving to the country, and then they show an establishing shot of like their city, but you could tell it was all digital.
Oh yeah, because it was not 1970s Dallas or whatever.
I could have done without that. I didn't need an establishing shot. But that's just nitpicking. You know, whatever.
But Brittany Snow, I think, did a really great job.
Yep.
Of being, you know,
she looked like a 70s porn star.
She totally did. And she just nailed it. And her death was like trying to find the old lady, and they're like, oh, there she is on the dock. And the old lady's just like, pfft, and just, I don't like blonde. Like, she's like, I never liked blondes. And she just pushes her in, the alligator eats her.
Yeah. And the alligator just like snaps her head. That was really cool.
I'm like, oh, poor Brittany Snow got eaten by an alligator. Kid Cudi did a really great job.
He did. Yeah. I don't know who he is, but the actor, like he did a great job acting. Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
No, I really enjoyed this movie a lot. I liked that the killers were old people, which would get me because I'm a sucker for old people. So I'd be like reeled in quick and probably dead.
You'd die first.
I'd die first.
I'd be the tidy whitey guy. I'd die too.
She'd be like, I don't like blondes, and I'd get eaten by an alligator or something.
We'd both die in this film. We'd both die in this world. But anyways, what would you rate it out of 10 Bloody Marys? What would you give it?
I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
8.5?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Cool. Yeah.
I can't say it was like my favorite horror movie, but I really, really enjoyed that movie a lot.
Yeah, cool. I'm right there with you. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty much perfect. It's almost there. I think, God, the one thing that really honestly does drag it down for me is the fact that you know that Pearl is
a little crazy.
Yeah.
Or a lot crazy.
I liked it better when it was open to interpretation.
Agreed.
But it is cool that he already filmed the prequel. So I guess I'll wait and see what that one's like. But I think that's the only thing for me that kind of brings it down for sure. But it's a great movie. I think if you love horror, if you love slashers, just go see it or rent it or buy it or whatever.
Whatever you need to do, stream it eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was really great. It had a lot of homages to
homage
to horror films, but not too much. Not where like you're like, oh, that's It just gives you the feel of it.
Yeah, they didn't blatantly rip anything off. Yeah. So yeah, cool.
All right. Well, our Bloody Marys are dead.
And so are we.
All right.
Drink in moderation, enjoy life and death. And hey, you're not leaving yet. We have a Amazon wish list if you'd like to help support us. We don't have a Patreon or anything yet. We probably will in the future, but we currently do have an Amazon wish list of a few cool things on there that we could use for the show. More of these mugs, more gear, little things. So if you feel like supporting us, check that out. We'll put the link wherever you are watching or listening to this.
And thanks for listening.
Yeah. All right.
We appreciate it.
Go see X.
All right. Bye-bye.